Hello everybody, and today I'm going to be talking about the difference between the US and the UK and why I decided to make the move and live in the United Kingdom. It's something that you guys have asked me about quite a lot. I did a video in Black Ops 2 that kind of talked about it a little bit, but I didn't talk about it in any great length or specifics, so I thought that I would talk about it now. A lot of people still don't even know that I live in the UK. They still just think that I'm in the States. I understand. I don't sound like I live in the United Kingdom, so I understand it. I'm not judging you. But in this video, if you're wondering what the difference is and why I actually ended up moving, this is the place for you. So I'll start by telling you guys why I ended up settling in the UK. So I was back and forth between the UK and the US for quite a long time. I would go to the States for like 3 months, then I would come back to the UK for like 3 months, and then I'd leave for 3 months. So I would be back and forth. And this went on for quite a long time, like years. This was happening for years. And that's because my family all lives in the UK. Like everyone lives over here in the UK. And I was in a relationship with someone that was in the United States. So obviously I had a reason to be in both places. I wanted to see my family and I wanted to see my boyfriend. So when me and my boyfriend broke up, it was like 2 years ago. I don't know when it was. Honestly, I'm so bad with dates, it's ridiculous. But we broke up a while ago, and that's when I decided that I'm just gonna settle in the UK. Like, there's nothing for me in the States anymore in terms of people, so I might as well just move to the UK for good and like start making friends over here and start having a life here for myself, because I never really made a life in the UK. I was always just under the assumption that I was gonna move back to the States for good forever, so I never bothered making a life for myself in the UK. But then I decided to settle here and kind of accept that this is where I was gonna stay for the rest of my life. Now, I was feeling like this, like I'm cool with staying in the UK, I'm gonna be here forever, probably gonna marry a British dude. I was feeling like this for a really long time, and it only changed very recently. Like really recently is when it changed, when I was like, you know what? I really miss the States. Like, I feel most at home in the States, which is really weird, because obviously all my family is here and I love my mother to death, and wherever she is I am happy, like 100% happy. But in terms of just countries that I feel the most comfortable in, I feel the most comfortable in the United States. I don't know why, it feels like home, you know? It feels comfortable, it feels like a comfort to me. So I'm probably gonna end up moving back to the States at some point. I don't know when it's gonna be, but I definitely do want to move back. So now let's talk about the differences between the UK and the US that I really noticed. So number one, which I have said before, I've said in like Q&As, I've said in a few videos, but the biggest difference is the social aspect and the social atmosphere between the UK and the US. In general, Americans tend to be a lot more open, and you can have a much more kind of open conversation with a complete stranger than in the UK. People in the UK tend to be really reserved, and they won't be as forthcoming with you when you're just having a random conversation with strangers. Like, I can't even tell you how many people have talked to me in the US just randomly, and we've sat and talked about whatever. Now, this could be a woman, it could be a dude. We've just talked about whatever. A woman will say, oh my god, I really like your dress, where did you get it from? And we'll have a whole conversation about that. Or a guy will just talk to me or hit on me or whatever. But in the UK, that stuff doesn't happen that often. I don't think I've ever had a woman randomly compliment me on anything in the UK. Ever. Maybe a super old lady, but not a lady like my age that's like, oh my god, I really like that. Where did you get that from? Or, oh, your hair looks really good. Where did you get your hair done? It's never happened, whereas in the States, that kind of stuff happens all the time. Same thing with dudes talking to me and hitting on me. Like, it happens in the UK, but definitely not to the extent that it does in the United States. So just the social aspect, I think it's much easier to meet people in the States. I think it's a more sociable place than the United Kingdom. And the second biggest thing, I guess it depends where you live in the States. I lived in Chicago and I lived in Atlanta, but the weather is different. In the UK, it never gets super cold to the point where it's snowing and it's like crazy snow. It doesn't really happen that often, and it has times where it gets really hot, but it doesn't get ridiculously Atlanta hot. So the weather's kind of just in the middle throughout the entire time. It's just kind of in the middle, just hovering around like 60s, 50s or something like that. Whereas in the States, the weather's better, let's be honest. Like, I prefer the weather in the States. I prefer being in a warmer climate. So the places that I would live, like I would move to California. Yeah, I would prefer the weather. So the weather's definitely better. Now, in terms of the government, I think that the US is kind of going to hell when it comes to a lot of this. Like, there's some things that happen in the States that I'm like, what? How is that even possible? Like, what? I think that the States is slowly turning into kind of a police state, and it's really kind of scary and depressing and sad. Whereas in the UK, free healthcare, and I honestly don't feel like the law enforcement is out of control like it is in the States. So I definitely feel like the government is structured better and generally is better to their citizens in the United Kingdom than in the United States. So if you're looking for somewhere to stay that is very good to the people that live here, they will help you out a lot. You get free healthcare, you get free dental up until you're 18, then UK is really, really, really good. But like I said, for me personally, I just feel most comfortable in the States. I miss the people. I miss the people. So I'm probably gonna end up moving back at some point, but I don't know when. So I hope this kind of answers some questions that you had about why I live here and the differences. Maybe I could probably do like a 15-minute video on this, but don't forget to leave in the comment section what you want me to talk about next week, and I'll speak to you later. Bye.